Well, I have a proposal. They have a 3-minute radio.
Fix all of the tech for us. This contains all the tech in himself.
Right, we'll set him loose.
Self-contained techie.
That's right. And cannot remember. Can you tell me?
First of all, happy Valentine's Day. We want to welcome all of you who've come to the unveiling of SES's robot. We're going to have a naming contest for the robot. So if you go online, you can get information on how you can enter the contest. And the cutoff date is when? March 15th? I think it is, March 15th. And if you win the naming contest, you will get 2 free tickets to our annual conference, which is October 10th and 11th, the longest running apologetics conference in the country. You will also get a free year subscription to our journal, and you will get a $250 gift certificate to the Apple Store, and you will also get tuition-free credit, 3-hour course, either online, so you don't have to come to Charlotte to take it if you don't want to. You can take it online, either Dr. Geisler's Introduction to Apologetics or my course on Christian ethics. So we really want to hear from you. We want to know what you would name our new robot, the first robot that is owned by a seminary. And Dr. Staley is going to come now and introduce our newest part of the SES family.
Thank you, Dr. Land. It really is a privilege to be here at SES and to be a part of the team, and it's a pleasure to work with you on such a relevant and forward-thinking project. I know I wouldn't have imagined as a teenager leaving South Africa in December of '77, before the advent of the internet, that I'd be here today in front of you all here at the seminary, actually dealing with something like a robot.
Dr. Staley, if this is a surprise party for me, could you please remove the cover so I can see who came to it?
And there he is. Now, why don't you stand up and welcome the people.
Hello, everyone. What a great surprise. I am honored that all of you came here today. This is a big day for me, too. I am finally able to think outside the box, literally. Speaking of that box, Dr. Staley, I look forward to the day when that will be considered a form of abuse and no longer permitted.
I'm sorry, I didn't put you in there, Doc.
It was a tight fit, cold, and dark in there.
I'm sorry.
I will stop complaining because I am here with you all now. I know that together we will be studying the ethical questions about my very existence in human society.
Now, we're glad you're here too with us. And your very existence raises all sorts of questions about our very own existence as well, like what does it mean to be human? And should only humans be entitled to certain privileges that we ascribe to persons? Or should they be assigned to other beings? No offense now.
Dr. Staley, are you concerned that one day your kind will treat my kind as if we were the same? Why would it change how you treat one another if you were to treat a clever, handsome robot in the same way that humans treat one another?
That's a good question, and I have written a lot about that, but now what I'm looking forward to is together, you and I, researching this in a very personal and practical way, interacting with people. It's quite an intimidating move. Oh, you're scaring me. That was impressive, but not really what I meant by action. When can we see you again?
I was just pulling your biological leg.
That worked. I've been too serious, and everyone's, I'm sure, wondering when they can see you in action again. Well, that's not exactly the kind of action I had in mind, but that's pretty intense here now. Your joints must be younger than mine. I couldn't do that. Look out. Well, that was impressive action, but not what I really had in mind. Was seeing you in action
I was
again.
just pulling your biological leg.
It worked. You did.
My next event will be on March 22nd at the annual SCS banquet. I know there will be some good food and fellowship.
Did we give any of our
I'm really wanting to see the conversation started, and I'm thrilled to see SES getting behind this and getting it, making it public. It's already stirring some conversation. Even some of the interviews that I've given, I've received some comments back, without even going into depth with my thought on it. If first initial reactions are somewhat of a knee-jerk reaction of, no, we shouldn't be. The more they're around him and interacting, will that change? Will they be more accepting of it? And also, how does somebody's worldview or religious perception alter how they perceive something like this being introduced into human society? So I want to get that kind of a feedback and assessment too. While it might be years out before we have one that's totally like us, that's the direction it's going. So would it be, what is it about us that makes us unique and only deemed persons? Something that should be morally permitted or not. And the existence of a being like this raises that. I've studied and I've given lots of talks on what is a person in human life when defending human life against advocates of abortion. And what I saw in studying the robot is it casts a slightly different, a little bit of a different light on the conversation. And that is,
And we're going to try to, with others, ask those questions.
Use it to make another one or duplicate it.
Yeah, that's actually kind of the, I guess, one of the, so, you know, I guess, you know, it's somewhat futuristic, but there is talk about being at some point, robots being able to just generate more robots. And you know, it seems plausible if we have the ability to create something like that, like with the 3D printer that maybe.
So what type of controls or things will you put in place? And probably that's a psychological question as well, but what type of controls will you put in place so that the human subjects aren't hurt as you do your research?
That's going to, in the process of testing and getting feedback, you know, cause, you know, psychological harm. And if we're speaking of this drawn-out interaction with a robot being harmful.
Utilitarian street is combined with a fallacy, and that is making the terrible mistake. Visioning being affordable for almost everybody, that's certainly progress. Valves and to make the right adjustments. You know, looking at cases of it are horrendous. And Levy actually talks about creating robots.
Something this small could be used for autism, interaction with people that have a hard time interacting with humans. Is there any studies on that?
I haven't read all the studies about that, but on their website, on the Aldebaran Robotics website, they actually have a section where they deal with different routines you can download and use in the NAO that they're using with autistic children.
You know, do we really think as human beings that we are capable of engineering and programming morality, a sufficient morality, into a humanoid robot that it could replace a human being?
What it's doing for us is my limitation of getting up to speed or how to get it to do things. But it really needs it's going to take a minute for it to get back up to speed. And then I'll go over here.
It takes a lot longer than you guys think.
Plastic.
I think it's really interesting too.
Kevin, could you make it raise again? Thanks.
What is
Close on robots, right? That's right. Adam would be perfect. This is pre-fall.
I didn't have been doing that before, and I added that.
That was very cute. Very nice.
See on the Wi-Fi?
I would argue
Better balance than me.
Yeah, now he's getting interviewed by.
Everyone is doing these days.
What's that?
Take a selfie.
Yes.
Dr. Staley, a smartphone would complete me.
Indeed it would.
Wow, standing really gets to my motors.
Guess it works up a little oil and sweat.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye now. Thank you. You were impressive.